didn't think Italians would be Mignoni. Hey,
All right.
Joe, Mignoni or Mignon?
Mignoni.
Mignoni. Like Italian is like it always has a vowel. Americanized.
Joey, we on? All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Swampscott School Committee regular session meeting for Thursday, April 13th at Swampscott High School. Welcome, our vast audience. I call everybody to order, and could we have the Pledge of Allegiance, please, if you are so able.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Before we go to committee comments, we do have to do a shout out to Joey Mignoni, our technical guru today, who got us up and running. Joey, thank you very much.
And my crew.
And the crew, right? Thank you. The audience is applauding you in great detail. So with that, let's start with committee announcements, and why don't we start with Ms. O'Connor?
I have nothing.
Nothing. Thank you very much. Ms. Wright.
I had something and it just flew out of my head. My God. All right, go ahead, John.
John, go ahead. We'll go back to Suzanne.
Yeah, we can come back.
Hot potato.
I just wanted to say I really thought it was helpful and beneficial seeing the new school site. Thought that was, we hear about it from you all the time, but it was good to actually see it. And,
When did you guys see it? I guess
see the progress?
Last week.
I took them on Thursday after that owners meeting.
So
I'm sorry, I missed it.
Suzanne?
There's no audio on Zoom.
Oh.
Miss Nottingham can't hear.
yeah. What was
So
I
she
supposed to
can't
say?
take
Yeah, I guess no one heard it.
Minutes.
I was thinking of people's names I wanted to say.
Hang on 1 second, everybody.
We're just batting 1,000 tonight.
We'll get there.
Someday.
How about now?
Testing. 1, 2, 3, testing.
That sounds like it's working.
Let's see.
Who's taking notes this evening?
It's Mrs. Nottingham. She always is. It says, okay, LaTanya said she told Joe. I don't know which Joe.
Joe's- Yeah.
Okay,
Ms. Nottingham, can you hear us?
no text.
I'll take that stunned silence as a no. We should have a sign that says technical difficulties. We'll be right with you.
Can she even respond, or do we have to unmute her?
She texted the
She's
superintendent.
texting me.
Okay, can she hear Glenn?
No. What did we do before text?
We just did it. Didn't worry about it.
It was just.
Yeah, but I mean, there was no Zoom either.
Yeah, exactly. Just when Joe thinks he can take a night off.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, it could happen with Zoom here too.
Sure, absolutely. I admire the kids. They just get so
Yeah, me
nervous. I
too.
wish they didn't. I don't know how to solve my red
We're back.
problem, and I
Oh,
don't.
let me see.
Ask her if you can hear her now. She can hear you.
Hello?
Oh, she's texting. Hold on. Can you hear us?
There we go.
Hey,
All right.
okay, there it is. Got
All
it.
right, we're back. So in case those of you who cannot hear us, we had a call to order. We did the Pledge of Allegiance. We're in the middle of committee announcements. Suzanne, did you remember what you wanted to talk about? Okay.
It's just gone forever.
All right. Ms. Wright is not, Ms. Marshall is not with us this evening. I also do not have any committee announcements. Superintendent's report.
Thank you.
welcome.
So right before this meeting, I had a conversation of sorts with a couple of members of our teachers union, and I would ask the permission of the chair to table the vote on the school calendar. for next year. I know that families, really wait for this to come out so that they can plan their time, but we will do it at our next meeting, public meeting and public session on May 12th. The second item I do want to talk about is our last day of school this year. Keep in mind that our last day of school for this school year is June 20th. June 19th, there is no school because of our honoring Juneteenth. So Friday the 16th, our last 2 days are always early release days. Friday, June 16th would be an early release day, as well as Tuesday, June 20th. So June 20th is the last day of school for this school year. The next item I did want to talk about is the Essex Tech After Dark program. To remind those that are watching in the school committee themselves, After Dark is a partnership we have with Essex Tech, where our juniors and seniors come and do their core classes here at the high school, and then at 11 o'clock in the morning, they go and do participate in hands-on technical learning at Essex Tech. We do have 10 students. 5 would be entering their first year in the program, and 5 will be in their second year. We also have, I want to mention the programs that they would be in. We have construction and craft laborers, health assisting, and horticulture are the 3 programs that our students would be participating in. So we have 5 juniors and we have 5 seniors participating. And I love that program because it's a program where if students apply fully to Essex Tech and don't get in, they have an opportunity to experience those programs through this partnership. Along those same lines, Innovative Pathways, we've had the Advanced Manufacturing Group in front of the school committee in the past. We have hired a career counselor, and we just got notified, and it's in your shared drive, a letter from the department saying that we've also been accepted for business and finance in the Innovative Pathways. It says, I'm pleased to inform you that after careful review, the Innovation Career Pathway Program submitted by your district has been granted designation. Congratulations on achieving this distinction. We are confident that your new Innovation Career Pathway in Business and Finance will offer students a transformative experience, enabling them to develop essential skills, gain awareness of future career opportunities, and make informed choices about post-secondary education in promising fields. And just to remind the committee, our hope is next year to expand that with one more program, and that would be in technology. So now we're building the Innovative Pathways, the partnership with Essex Tech. I'm proud that we're offering opportunities for our students to have a really holistic education and not just, academic. We are bringing back those hands-on experiences that the district had to cut many, many, many years ago. So I'm really proud of that. I want to shout out to Dr. Bacon for leading this Innovative Pathway work and leading these applications and really coordinating the group to get these passed. But some exciting things happening in the district.
Does the Innovation Pathways come along with any grants?
It is a grant, but I don't know how long that grant will go on, and I'm not sure if it covers the entire cost of the program.
Yeah.
But we've seen how successful our advanced manufacturing program is, and I think I've said to this committee before, and I'll say it publicly, my dream would be to somehow get in, cooking at some point, which would be amazing. So just some exciting opportunities for our kids, and I'm really proud of that.
Great.
That's it.
Thank you very much. Anyone have any questions?
Is there an innovative pathway that's education? Childhood education, or are they all just mostly?
I don't know. I guess I could find that out from Dr. Bacon, but what I do know is one of our programs here at the high school is sending our students down to the elementary schools right now for those that are interested in education. And I do know Afia is one of our students that's going to Clark School and working.
I remember she talked
Right.
about that once.
It's not tied to the innovation pathways, and I can't pull from my brain right now what it is tied to, but I can find out for the committee.
I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah.
Like, we need educators
Yep.
in this world, right? It'd be nice
Right.
to sort of have that as a
Pathway.
pathway.
Right.
Just curious.
Start to,
I mean, it
gain
seems like it'd
interest
be
as you go.
easier to do that one than cooking at
Absolutely.
at the facilities we have right now.
Yes.
Just,
Never know, that new school kitchen, no, I'm kidding.
I know, right?
Just kidding, but thank you. It's a brief report, but some great things happening.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Any other questions for the superintendent regarding any of those topics?
Not any of those topics per se, but I would love if we could start getting, For the Love of Learning back onto our agendas.
Sure.
The best part of the whole meeting.
It always is.
Yeah, and, really a reminder of why we're here.
Superintendent, can you just although there's not many people out there, can you just
Sure.
remind everybody what that is?
So For the Love of Learning really helps us focus on why we're here, and it's for our students. And we we reach out to our educators and ask if there's anything going on that they'd like to share with the committee. We have had advanced manufacturing in, we've had Mrs. Delicia with her art students, we've had a whole bunch of groups, and they come in and they either talk about a lesson or talk about a unit they're doing or a project they're doing, and really give the committee a flavor for the work that's going on in our schools, and it's all levels. It is a time commitment for teachers to come out in the evenings, though it is a bit earlier, and to coordinate the kids getting here, particularly when they're younger, but it always sets the mood for a really pleasant school committee meeting, and so I can certainly send that out and try to get some attendees for the rest of the calendar, the
Yeah,
school year.
And I think we haven't seen any of the sports teams this year.
No? Okay, we can
How
absolutely.
about our drama? Didn't they just,
Yeah.
they just get invited to nationals?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's,
Like, that would be, I would love to see a
that.
one act here. Bring it to me.
I did have one other item now that I'm thinking about it, because I finished an email today. At the end of March, this is related to the new elementary school. One of the things that the PTOs at the 3 elementary schools this year tried to do is really coordinate their efforts more cohesively to try to offer opportunities and do things together. And in my early tenure, I met with the PTO leadership on a regular basis. And so at the end of March, I met with the leadership of the PTOs from Clark, Hadley, and Blaney, and we talked about the challenges they're facing and the equity issue. And so I took the opportunity to say that I think this is the time, a year before the elementary school is due to be open, to really join those PTOs. And so there's a commitment from the leadership of the 3 schools that by August 31st, when their fiscal year ends, they will be combining their budgets into one new elementary
great.
school,
That's fabulous.
elementary school budget. They're going to set up an email address, so it would be the Swampscott Elementary School PTO. And even though their location will be in 3 different buildings, I'm going to help with this transition, along with the principals. They're invited to really be cohesive, whether it's a moving on ceremony, whether it's fundraisers.
So great.
There was a discussion about the difference and disparity between what they have to put into the budget, and there was an agreement, it doesn't matter what you have to put in what you put in, and we start using it equally. So I want to shout out to the PTO leadership at how open they were to doing this a year ahead of time. I think it's going to be critical that I meet with them on a regular basis so that they can disseminate and help with the transition and the move into this school. But I'm excited that they were so open to this. The after-school programs will be similar. It's that equity piece that we talk about through our core work that's really important. And so I'm very, very excited for that opportunity. I should have added that in.
that's great, actually.
Yeah.
That's really fantastic.
Having been it's been years since I've been on the PTA, but I know that this was a really hot button topic back in the day. So I'm really proud of all of the PTAs for making this work, because it really is going to benefit the kids.
And it's really going to benefit the transition.
It is.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Absolutely.
so helpful to already have the parents working together.
Mm-hmm.
You picture end of year activities or closure of the other buildings sort of
Right.
looking similar. You picture the opening of the new building, it's just so much easier to sort of plan what that's going to look like too. I mean, it's going to be a really exciting time.
And this isn't, they're all doing the fun run in their own cultures. They're all doing this year the field day their own way. And one of the things that Ms. Sanborn led before she went on maternity leave is she led an all-district 4th grade field trip that could become a tradition, kind of an outside adventure camp. And so the pieces are in place. I just feel like I need to assist with the building principals in really sending the message that there's equity and that there's consistency as we move into one school. And so I think we're ahead of schedule, a year ahead of time, but I'm excited to do that work, so.
Oh, bravo.
That's really good doing it.
Yeah, that's good news.
That's really good. All right, thank you very much. The only chair comment, and I know Suzanne, you're gonna talk about it, was I thought the tour that we had was just, wow. Wow. It was great. I look forward to hearing you talk about it, but it was really great. I really, really enjoyed it. And the folks who gave the tour were just amazing. Such a positive vibe. So it was great. That's really the only chair comment that I have.
And if you haven't seen, I tweeted out the April 10th drone footage today where there are workers on the top beams that are scaring me just as I work and watch the drone footage. But to watch that steel go up is amazing,
Right.
and the progress.
So let's go to subcommittee report, and Suzanne, why don't you start us off?
Well, the school building committee stuff, like, I'm glad you guys could come. Amy, you'll get a private tour someday.
I even had my steel toe boots.
We'll get you a pair.
No,
Karen-
I borrowed a pair.
Okay, Karen had a pair.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. The steel got delivered 2 weeks ago today. Well, that's not true. The crane got delivered 2 weeks ago today. The steel got delivered the Monday after, right? And by the end of the day, probably the first floor plus the walls of the beams on the second floor were already installed.
Wow.
I mean, the steel goes up so incredibly fast. I'm floored by it. There's actually decking on, so the school's being built. This is kudos to CTA, our construction team. And actually, first I should just say thank you to our construction team, our design team, and our architect and OPM, because this site is so unbelievably tight, and there's so many things that are happening at once, and there's been quite a few hiccups. I mean, we have more ledge to remove than was originally estimated, quite a bit more. We've had more contaminated soil that had to be carted off site, and to do that, you have to find locations to bring the different soils to. So all these things could have held up the project, and they sort of did put the project behind a few months, and then they worked so hard to catch us all up, and they had the brilliant idea to build the building in segments. So if you picture the building all along the whole back of Ewing Woods, there's section A, B, and C. So section A is where the original school basically was. So section A got blasted and dug out, and footings got put in, and steel's going up. And as the steel's going up, as the footings were going in, B was being blasted, right? And then as the footings were done here, they were starting here. And so right now, the steel's going to go into B pretty soon, or the footings are going to get insulated first. Is that waterproof first? And then the steel's continuing here, waterproofing here, and the blasting's done here already, and they're ready to start the footings. So they're sort of like taking advantage of this whole site and sort of doing the building in these stages and moving. I mean, it's incredible, the stuff that's just moving around the site all the time. Like one day you see this giant pile of rocks here, and then it's here, and then it's over here, and then it's dirt over here finally. Like it's just been amazing to see the coordination that our team has accomplished, I guess.
And you can see that in the drone footage. You can see section A, B, and C, and you'll see you look at C, and it doesn't look like there's
Anything,
anywhere.
right,
Right. It's amazing to me.
Yeah.
I mean, for people that are in construction and probably have seen this often, but I know those first steel beams, I got emotional, like watching that they went up.
It's pretty unbelievable what they're doing on that site, and Max and I had a chuckle the other day thinking, we were going to leave Stanley open and build it on the field? How would that have even worked?
I know.
Like the fact that you could actually build things that close, I mean, it would have been a nightmare for just lay down areas for all the rebar and steel that's on the site or whatever. It's just crazy to think that we even thought we could do that. Because they're using every single square inch of that site for something. And that reminds me to remind people, this site is a closed site, so there's no walking on this site. I'm not sure who's listening to this, but there is no walking on this site kind of unescorted. And if you go to the site and you have questions for Fred or Trevor, the two people that are always there, their phone number is on the school building committee website. You can call ahead. They'll meet you with the proper protective gear, and happy to escort you to the trailers to talk to you or answer your questions. I mean, they've been really great about dealing with neighbors and issues that are coming up. But just people know, this site is like, I mean, blasting and steel and digging and just everything going on there. It's really nuts when it's happening. So that's a reminder I've been meaning to say. And also, I want to tell you that there's going to be a steel topping off ceremony. So when you get to the last piece of steel in a building, people who work on the building, like the union people and the laborers and the building committee, whatever, they sign the steel. Well, we're trying to have the steel. There's going to be some exposed steel and some non-exposed steel. So I can't guarantee that signed steel will be exposed, but we're gonna have some steel going around to the schools, and we're gonna have the kids that are gonna in elementary school right now hopefully sign them. So that piece of steel will get put up for the topping off ceremony.
That's great.
So hopefully, because we just think that would be just a nice way for everyone to just put their name on the building they'll be going to, or that they had to sacrifice for.
Mm-hmm.
So that's coming, and that'll probably be. I mean, we're going to have it before the end of the school year so that we get as many students as possible. So probably in June or the end of May sometime.
That's
But,
exciting.
yeah, we'll work that out.
It's great.
Yeah, so it's like
Well-
all so exciting.
Yeah, I mean, again, the tour was, well, it was just mind-blowing what was going on there. It was really cool.
It's a big school.
Yes.
The stage was down. They put the foundation for the stage. Like, you already like, oh my God, there's a piece inside the building. Like, it's gonna be in there. Crazy. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Great, thank you. Meal charge policy update?
We're gonna postpone that
Perfect. All right.
or,
And actually, there was a big thing in the Globe today about the House, as part of their budget, that they want to make permanent.
I heard that last night on the
There's
news.
they want to make it permanent using the millionaire's tax, that every public school in Massachusetts there'd be free lunch period.
I did have a conversation with Jenny Armini this week or last week, primarily about Metco and ensuring that the Metco budget was fully funded. And that was one of the things that she talked about, that they were kind of negotiating back and forth now with the governor and hoping that it is in fact not coming out of, a special separate fund.
so maybe we should wait until we don't even need a meal charge
Yeah,
policy.
I'd probably
Yeah.
wait,
Could be.
yeah.
I thought that,
Hold on, Cheryl,
We had a food service audit and we
Oh.
need a service requirement.
There was a finding. We're trying to catch up on our
Yes.
findings.
okay.
Wait, you have to have the policy or
Yeah.
we need to recoup the money?
You have to have a
well,
policy.
we do have a policy.
Well, you haven't voted one.
But we currently don't even have a meal charge
Oh,
policy.
my,
Yeah, we have a
bad.
policy about,
Okay.
free and reduced or
okay.
having that program, but we don't have a policy about charging currently.
Okay.
But I thought it was interesting, the way that Representative Armini was talking about the fact that food is very much a part of education. And it really reminded me, Superintendent, of the presentation that you made to the Finance Committee, where you talked about just how much human services schools have become.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Great. All right. Tutor bargaining update.
there's nothing to update. We have not met since
Okay.
the last meeting.
Great. Awesome. We did that. I actually have one that's not on here. I joined Martha Kelleher this morning at the,
Raymond.
all right, just, what's 25 years? It won't matter. It will never work. I'll never come out of my mouth the right way. I joined Martha this morning at the Swampscott Special Education PAC meeting. It was really great. They're A couple of folks are going to be taking over some of the leadership responsibilities there. They're excited to tackle what they need to tackle. They asked a lot of good questions regarding budget. I asked them over the next several months in the summer to, while they're at the beach, to read up about various special education issues, whether it's funding, whether it's circuit breaker, just to educate themselves, so when we come back in September, which we've all talked about, we're gonna handle the budget differently than we've handled it in the past. And so they were good with that. So it was a good meeting. I was really happy to join with them, and I appreciate they made me feel very welcome.
Hey, Glenn, did they pick a new president
Or
co-presidents?
Yeah, there's gonna be co-presidents there.
Did they elect new I was curious. I'm asking because a grandparent of a student in one of our learning centers
Yeah.
approached me about doing a fundraiser. He's a self-taught artist, and he'd
Right.
like to donate his
Really?
artwork and give the proceeds to the program.
Wow.
And he's trying to work with Reach Arts to have a date, and I would really like the CPAC to sort of get behind it.
Yes.
I've been trying to make a flyer for him. I mean, he's a self-taught artist, and he's just a really sincere guy. He happens
Right.
to be a Ukrainian immigrant. He's
Right.
he's a really great person to do this, and I just want to connect with the new. I didn't want to talk to Lisa about it because I don't want her to put anything else on her plate. She's just like so done
Yeah.
with that. So I was just kind of waiting for the new person.
I will text you tonight with the
Yeah, that would be
leadership.
great.
You're welcome. I don't have it on that.
Yeah, no, I remember at the last meeting, she was, begging.
Yeah,
For help.
people definitely stepped up. People definitely stepped up, and I'll send that to you tonight. That's very nice of him, that individual.
Yeah,
to do
no,
that.
he's a very sweet gentleman.
Great. So that's what I have on the subcommittee. Any other thoughts and comments before we go to the consent agenda? All right. The consent agenda is designed to expedite the handling of routine and miscellaneous business of the school district. The school committee may adopt the entire consent agenda with one motion. At the request of any committee member or members, any item or items may be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda for discussion. Tonight, there is only one item, and that's the regular session minutes from March 23rd, 2023. Can I please have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
No second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? It carries unanimously. So with that, and
Wow.
This is
thank you,
record.
crowd, please be
Crazy.
careful as you exit the facility. I will say adjourn. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
There is no one opposed. Good night. We are adjourned.
Might-
Wow.
Might be
That
able
was
to do
really-
my
We need.